Watch what happens the first time a young child plucks the string of an instrument they built with their own hands. That moment of discovery is the starting point for scientific inquiry. Effective early STEAM education leans into that natural curiosity. It works best when it begins with the things children already want to touch and explore, toys and sensory experiences. We can see this approach in the Toy Scientists curriculum. Designed for 3 to 7-year-olds, it uses a Miraculous concert theme to introduce scientific concepts through play. Rather than just listening to a lecture, these young students construct their own tools. They build many harps and craft magical rain sticks to see how different materials produce different effects. Underneath the crafts, these children are running their first physical experiments. They are testing tension and force long before they ever enter a formal science classroom. The core science being taught here centers around one of the most important abstract principles in physics, the sound wave. When a physical object like a harp string vibrates, it pushes against the air. That energy translates into radiating waves of sound. By tightening or shortening the string, students see how changing the object forces waves closer together, resulting in a higher pitch. This entire syllabus, covering these foundational physics concepts, is also accessible to local learners through a dedicated Chinese language track. Mastering these invisible mechanics early takes the mystery out of the physical world. It gives children a reliable framework to explain the things they see and hear every day. Eventually, those children grow. Their motor skills sharpen, and they begin to seek more dynamic, active challenges. The curriculum shifts away from the foundational physics of sound and enters the high-energy world of chemical reactions. This is the Future Scientists tier, built specifically to challenge students between the ages of 8 and 12. The objective here moves beyond sensory exploration. The goal is to help students develop logical thinking and the specific skills needed to solve complex problems. This is a critical step in a child's development. They are moving from observing how things work to designing their own intentional experiments. This fascinating chemical world syllabus relies on reactions that are safe but visually impactful enough to illustrate theoretical points. The learning scope begins with the basics of chemical properties. Students learn to measure acidity directly by using natural indicators to observe color changes. One of the most memorable experiments in this series is elephant toothpaste, which demonstrates how specific substances can change the speed of a reaction. To understand it, students learn about chemical catalysts. A catalyst provides a shortcut, lowering the energy required for two compounds to interact and allowing a reaction to happen much faster. When that catalyst is added to the mixture, oxygen is released so rapidly that the solution erupts into a massive, expanding column of foam. This advanced theory is also fully available for Chinese-speaking students, as seen here in the syllabus terms for elephant toothpaste and chemical catalyst. Seeing these principles in action makes the abstract concepts of molecular chemistry much easier to remember. It turns a theoretical idea into a lived experience. You start with a 5-year-old figuring out how a harp string vibrates, and end with a 10-year-old accurately measuring acidity and managing catalyst reactions. This continuous pipeline is designed to keep that initial spark of curiosity alive as the subjects get more complex. These are not one-off workshops. The curriculum is built as a comprehensive 8-lesson program to ensure students have time to actually absorb the material. For the foundational Toy Scientist tier, the program consists of 8 lessons for a total of $2,000, as shown here. Building this foundation early means that when these students eventually encounter formal physics or chemistry in school, the concepts will be familiar rather than intimidating. The Advanced Future Scientist tier is $2,800 for 8 lessons, and students receive an official achievement certificate upon completion. Every course includes materials and teaching notes authored by doctoral scientists, ensuring that the content is academically accurate. You can find branch locations across the city, from Causeway Bay to Shatin, with inquiry numbers listed at the bottom of the program guides. For more updates and a look inside the classroom, you can scan these QR codes to find their official Facebook and Instagram pages. The tools to understand the world are ready. Help your child take the first step toward becoming an innovator today.